So we're all not okay, right? Just checking. Ello Bandannas, Khumo, welcome here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where people watch me speak about whatever crosses my mind, and I am okay with that. In today's video, I am wearing my 9th grade school uniform because we are finally reviewing the long-awaited 3rd season of our favorite queer show, Heartstopper. I cannot believe that we're already on season 3. It feels like yesterday when I just discovered the show. In fact, if you watch my old review, you can just see how fresh and new I was to Heartstopper and the whole Heartstopper universe. Now we're on the 3rd season. We are 5 volumes in. We're waiting on volume 6, and hopefully we get a season 4 renewal, okay? With that said, I hope you guys have your fresh slabs of Oreo dairy milk and some apple juice because we are about to dive in. In contrast to previous seasons, this one was not an easy watch in my opinion. The season was not only a beautiful continuation of the entire story, but the most mature installment we've ever had from Heartstopper. From the plot to the cinematography, the soundtrack to the character development, they've managed to capture more of the magic that just makes the show so incredible. Starting with the plot, I will always be impressed by how the adaptation continues to surprise me, despite roughly knowing what to expect from this season. In the season, we explore a lot of themes with love and mental health being at the forefront. The honeymoon phase does not last forever, we know that, and we get to see all of our characters coming to terms with the harsh reality settling in, and I'll elaborate more when we obviously dive into the characters. The Paris gang is now facing more real-time issues, but we still get the cutesy moments sandwiched in to remind us that this is still Heartstopper we're watching. It just felt different this time. Alice brought many more nuances to the character detailing and added a dash of matured romance and went beyond the cheesy actions of love because our characters are growing. The way that they express themselves and the way that they love is going to mature and reflect that growth. Overall, I will say that I am very pleased with the pacing of this season. No storyline felt rushed, no character felt underdeveloped. It was all done so thoughtfully and so beautifully, and it just made me appreciate this show even more. The cinematography was spectacular this season, okay? We didn't shy away from the unique blend of intimacy and whimsy in the visual style. My eyes were eating up every single shot. The animations were also back in full swing, okay? Tugging at my little heartstrings every time an electric heart or leaves blowing in the wind showed up on screen. It never feels old or forced. We got our beloved tippy-toe shots during the hugging and kissing scenes too, and the choice to include the vintage camera clips was just genius to me. It made an already intimate show feel even more intimate, and it was just beautiful to watch. It really felt like you were part of the Paris gang. I really love that. That was an absolutely amazing choice. 10 out of 10 from me. And speaking of 10 out of 10, can we get into the soundtrack, baby? Talk about crafting an emotional soundscape that complements every single scene. Oh, and they had budget this season, trust, okay? Songs like Blue from Billie Eilish, Bruises of the Peach by Ryan Beatty, Rush by Troye Sivan, Ode to a Conversation Stuck in Your Throat by Del Water Gap, Genesis by Grimes, and Black Friday by Tom Odell, amongst others. It was banger after banger after banger after banger, and I love how intentional each and every song felt. It wasn't just picking these popular songs just for the sake of it. Each song just felt handpicked to elevate the scene. It just felt so good, you know, like it worked wonders every single time. Now let us check on the characters because I feel like that's what we're all here for, and I just want to check in on how everybody is doing the season. Starting with the main girlies, Nick and Charlie, their relationship really goes through some major developments this season. The first episode starts off with Charlie practicing in the mirror how he wants to say I love you to Nicholas for the first time. And the episode starting this way makes you think that the whole entire episode is just going to be about that until we're at the beach and earlier hints of Charlie's struggles with eating are brought to the forefront when Nick finally tells him that he thinks he has an eating disorder, which throws off Charlie for a while, but eventually he finds the perfect moment to tell Nick that he loves him while he's in the shower. I know we were all looking forward to that shower scene, and it was executed beautifully. I was laughing down, okay? When Nicholas ran out of that shower trying to run after Charlie, it was just so funny to see. But unfortunately, the scenes that follow delve into much darker themes, with Charlie's ED getting worse and Nick trying to find ways to help him, which can be difficult because they really suck at having difficult conversations. Seeing Charlie's journey really meant so much to me. As someone who has a complicated relationship with food and mental health. Seeing his story explored in such a delicate and thoughtful manner was really important to me. Like, the amount of times I paused just to cry was so unreal. I love how even like after he came back from the facility, Alice did not rush his healing process. We would still see him relapse and really focus on the fact that he did relapse. And it just felt so real and so relatable. And it wasn't this unrealistic depiction of having an eating disorder. It was explored in such a deep and non-shallow manner. That is representation, and that is why we love the show, because it is able to tell our stories in such meaningful ways. And Nick, oh my god, like, you know, boyfriend of the year contender goes to Nick. To love somebody so deeply and go out of your way to help them at 16 is really admirable and almost unheard of, to be honest, because we know it's not easy. Episode 2, 3, and oh my god, episode 4. That episode, I was not okay. The expression of emotion, the scene with the Billie Eilish song, his utter helplessness, like, it was done so incredibly. But at the end of the day, we are reminded that this is Charlie and Nick that we're talking about. Nick and Charlie that we're talking about, okay? And they bounce back in such a beautiful manner. Oh, and they're having sex now. Yeah. Remember when people were so angry with the show and called it corny and cheesy simply because they didn't see a bunch of teenagers banging it up all the time? But I'm so glad that Alice took her time before she got into that aspect of adolescence and the teenage stage, because not every one of us was getting banged out at 14. Well, I was, okay, but that is a whole nother story, and one I'm not proud of. But you know, some of my friends took a long time before they got there. The way that Alice did it allowed them to explore these themes in a more considerate and thought out manner, where you show things like consent and open communication and transparency and important discussions when it comes to body securities and gender dysphoria. It was done in a tasteful manner. Like, it wasn't, okay, now you're seeing kids doing nasty things on screen. It was alluded to, which when it comes to this show in particular, I will appreciate. Moving on to Elle and Tao. Their relationship is still in the honeymoon phase, but we come to learn that it is because Tao is really scared to let it grow past that stage. With Elle switching schools after the summer, he intends to make this the summer of love and spend every single day of it making it special, which gets tiring for Elle, who wants to have and enjoy the more mundane parts of being in a relationship. It's honestly so cute, especially for a straight boy, because, you know, the straight boys I know, and probably the straight boys you know, barely try in their relationships, okay? So it's honestly refreshing to see how much Tao values not only his relationship with Elle, but his friendships as well. And side note, the evolution of Nick and Tao's relationship, love it, okay? I know they don't play about each other this time. Elle is honestly thriving this season, okay? She just gets more stunning every time I see her. This is an Elle Arjun stan household, if you couldn't tell already, okay? But you know that Alice will not let us live in fantasy land forever, and unfortunately, being trans is not all sunshine and rainbows. You have to deal with a lot of BS, in my opinion. With Elle gaining a following from posting her art online, she lands a radio interview and the excitement quickly wears off when they realize that she was invited under false pretenses, and the radio host just wanted to use her as part of the trans discourse that the conservatives are having a wild ass time with, okay? This situation resulted in one of my favorite lines of the show, which were,
"Trans people aren't a debate, we're human beings."
And oh my god, okay, that entire experience just left her feeling shaken about her being, and it's honestly so exhausting existing as a non-cis het person, because people see you as a topic of discussion before they see you as human. She just wanted to be appreciated and recognized for her art, but somebody had to turn that beautiful thing into something so not so beautiful. It is the harsh reality of the world that we live in, and I'm glad that it was shown. Because of that, we get another one of the most beautiful moments when Tao made a film compiled of clips of Elle just to show her how he views her and how beautiful she is. Shut up. Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Literally shut up. I cannot explain how beautiful that was. That was just so sweet, okay? So sweet. Moving on to my main man, Isaac. This season, he finally comes out as asexual and aromantic. It warmed my heart to see because we know that this was not an easy journey for him, especially when being in a relationship is sort of like the standard for his entire friend group. And I love how even though he knows he's aro ace, you see him work towards being comfortable with that because it is a lot for a teenager to discover, especially when you're taught that this is the stage of your life where you should be in relationships, where you should be seeking out romance. And to have that not be your reality and to have to, you know, really figure out what the world now means for you as a person who is outside of that is really difficult. And I can't imagine having to deal with that at 16. We also get to see him speak up for himself and let everybody know that he is feeling left out, okay? And they need to be good friends to him too. Simply because he's not dating does not mean he no longer exists, okay? Y'all need to give him attention too. And I was like, yes, Isaac! Back them again for me. Well, that did cause a bit of a fight between him and Tao. They worked it out in true Heartstopper fashion, okay? Which is a tad bit unrealistic, let's be real, because teenagers are petty and we will lose, I would say we, like I'm a teenager still, I'm no longer a teenager, but teenagers will lose friendships over some of the dumbest reasons simply because of pride and ego, and having to own up to your mistakes is really not an easy thing for teenagers to do. But teenagers are not dumb. I'm glad that they are seeing relationships and friendships work out this way. That way they know that they are able to really get through some of the pettiest problems by simply communicating with each other. And how working towards being articulate when it comes to expressing your emotions and your feelings can really go a long way. Also, Isaac reading the Song of Achilles. Yes, okay, this book, oh my god, I cannot explain how much I love it. And now we go to Tara and Darcy. They're back to their usual selves for the most part. We follow Darcy and their journey. Notice how I'm saying their journey, okay, with self-identity and coming out as non-binary. Yay! I mean, the signs were there, let's be real, but you know, it's so cool to see non-binary representation on screen. And we also get to see Tara having difficulties figuring out what she really wants to do with her life after school, which is so relatable because the burnout that comes with being a high-achieving learner is so real. It makes you want to quit academia as a whole. We really didn't get to see much of them this season. Speaking of not seeing people enough, my queen Imogen. Where was she? Remember when I said this last season? After 2 failed crushes and a terrible relationship with Ben, we get hinted at, you know, a possible sapphic relationship between Imogen and Sepha, okay? Well, guess what we got this season? So now we know that Sepha is in fact bisexual and she got that discovery through her feelings for Imogen. But Imogen is still at the beginning phase of her queerness. She's still questioning, but she did realize that all of the so-called crushes and feelings that she had for the boys earlier on were totally not real. And it's just so exciting. Like, I can't wait to see where this journey of self-identity and self-discovery takes her. And I'm glad that she is now with a very loving circle that will help her get there, okay? And another queen of mine, Tori. Oh, you know I don't play about Tori, okay? She is still the caring older sister that we know and love. And her continuing to not only be a safe space for Charlie, but being overly protective. Oh, I just love her. I just love her. That scene where she expressed to Charlie that she feels left out because he's always with Nick Nelson and Charlie continued to leave. I did not like that one bit. And this is me yet again campaigning for a Solitaire movie. Like I need a Solitaire movie, okay? And we got to meet Michael this season. He's so adorable and cute and exactly how I imagined him. We also got to see David. I don't really care much about him. He's still a jerk, okay? But he is also very hot. And I would like to know which university he goes to because I would love to be fraternity X'd by him and his friends. If you do not know what fraternity X is, please do not look it up. Please do not look it up. And lastly, Mr. Ajay and Farouk are now dating. Yes, we cheered. Okay, showing us that it's never too late to have those cute teenage romance moments. Seeing them sneak around and steal moments. So adorable to witness, okay? And I know Mr. Farouk is finally giving that little boy that didn't get to have a boyfriend at a young age because he was conflicted about his feelings a chance to experience it. And there's just something so healing about that. You get the older queer representation. I just love them. I just love them. And I am, you know, fingers crossed that we get to see their wedding next season. If we do get a season 4, which would probably be the final season. And I'm really scared about that. I'm really scared. And yeah, that is a brief overview of all of the characters. I really loved this season. Oh my god, like I really loved it. It has quickly become my favorite season. And I know I said that about season 2, but this was so much better than season 2. So miles better than season 1. It was done so well. They gave stellar performances. My final rating would have to be, I would normally say like 100 out of 10, you know, or like a million out of 10, or like infinity out of 10, but we're gonna be mature. Like the characters were this season. I'm gonna give it a decent 9.7. It is a 9.7 out of 10. I really love the show. I really do. Yeah, and I can't wait to hear all of your thoughts. You know, put them down below. Put them down below. Let me know what you think about every single character if you want to. Let me know what you think about the cinematography, about the shots. Which shots did you like? Which shots didn't you like? Let me know. Let me know all of your thoughts, and I would love to read them and engage with you down below. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel, baby. Okay? And remember, if you do not slay, you do not stay, and that's on period. Bye.